Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. We have it, ladies and gentlemen. It keeps going. More stock market records. Riches are waiting for you. Are you in, though? Invest Fest has already started for the next 2 years. Crypto, stocks, and of course, real estate will follow along, but it's going to be a different journey this time. You're going to have to pick and choose what you want to put your money into. But the point is, you're going to need money. And welcome. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for being here. Make sure you please smash that like button once again. Share the videos. And I appreciate that you're here because you can be anywhere in these YouTube streets or social media streets. So let's go, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And again, chat rooms open for everybody. You can share the videos for everybody. Make sure, because we got a rising tide that we got to lift a whole bunch of people over the finish line. Why? Because it's very, very simple. There's nothing going to be easy other than this stock market is going to be easy for about 2 to 2.5 years for sure. All right. Rest assured. So get your disposable income ready, your duffel bags of cash ready. And we have a lot to talk about, like I said, because there is so much turmoil going on around the world. But does the turmoil matter when you have all-time record highs in the Russell 2000 index and again in the Dow Jones index? And who knows what's going to happen the rest of this week, but we do know it's going to be Thanksgiving. So hopefully some of you are going to be with your families and friends and your loved ones. So that way you'll have a very, very nice Thanksgiving weekend. All right. Once again, check in the chat room down below because we want you. It's cold, it's chilly, it's rainy. And what do you want? Something that goes in your tummy, something that you can drink down that feels so warm and fulfilling. Then that's the beachfrontjava.com website. It's our own Professor Auntie Val and family. Get your special blends. It's holiday time, and she has so many different premium blend coffees. I'm sure there's something there for you, but we want to support, right? That's what we want to do. So again, beachfrontjava.com. Make sure you use the promo code, all caps, SSN Lifestyle, all one word. It's in the chat room. You can see it there. There's a link in the chat room as well. And not only is there premium coffee, but there is tea as well, and even merch. So free shipping in the United States, but that promo code gets you a discount for life. That's right. So make sure you go over there, show some love for our own Professor Auntie Val. And we have our retiree, Victor Marrero, Mr. Worldwide, has joined us this evening. Thank you so much for being in the house. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And I know you're doing the salsa dance. You're like, raise the roof. You're like, man, I can't believe it. Every freaking other day, the stock market is kicking, it's booming, and we're all loving it. So thank you so much for being in the house once again with that icon next to your name, which I humbly appreciate. And he brings his tagline this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, all. Let's do this. And that's what we try to do here. Make sure you have your pen, pad, and paper ready. All right. because you never know what's going to come out of someone's mouth. But we have a lot of things to work with right now. Even though I'm excited, you should be excited. Riches are waiting for you. It's Invest Fest. I understand some people are living paycheck to paycheck, but it's getting worse. Not only is some people, it's like even the people who are CEOs, even the people that have management and executive positions within companies, they're even trying to steal from you, the ordinary citizens. It's getting out of control. People are looking underneath their cushions for that extra money. It's getting bad. So therefore, you have to set yourself up in a perfect position. And that means you have nowhere to go but Invest Fest. All right. Victor Morrell says a little pullback on Bitcoin and ETH right now. Here's your chance to jump in. Well, there has to be, because there is that rocket ship to 100K. Insane. Insane. And ETH as well goes along for the ride, and all the altcoins. There has to be some pullback eventually. All the buyers are sitting there taking a breather like, man, I can't spend any more money on this. I got enough. So, of course, what happens is just like gold and silver. If there's no buyers, the price goes down depending on who's selling. So there had to be a pullback. That's what generally happens when you ride a rocket ship over damn near 30% in less than a month. Crazy, crazy, but it's good times, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the salsa dance is still in effect. All right, Victor Morrell says, I am back in Florida, back on the I can't afford anything. Oh my goodness. Welcome back, AKA, in case people don't know, AKA USA. That's what it is, literally. Hell, Victor Morrell just came back from Puerto Rico. I'm pretty sure even prices there are cheaper than here. It's crazy. Um, yeah, he went to the store. He went to the store. He's like, what is this? I was just gone for a few weeks. Seems like things went up. Well, there's a few things that now that he mentioned it, ladies and gentlemen, we want to prepare you for success. So you want those dividend funds. You want growth funds. You know, due to the rise, just like the fallback for the Bitcoin and the Ethereum, you cannot keep doing record highs on all stock market indexes, even the Russell 2000, which is the fourth one, and expect it to keep going. All-time record highs year after year after year. This is absurd. It's overpriced in reality. But the rich, 90% of the stock market, 93% to be exact, is owned by the top 10% of the wealthiest. So if they're spending their trillions of dollars to buy stocks, then the price is going to keep going up. And then when you have corporations spending hundreds of billions of dollars to buy their own shares of stock, well, you have a run up. And then you have a few people of the population, ordinary citizens, OCs, who then go into the stock market. And then what happens? They help it go up even more. So that's right. You have to join the party. You can't sit on the sidelines no more and say, I don't invest in stocks. I don't know anything about stocks. That's the last way you're going to be making money, because after this real estate next boom happens or bust, whatever happens with real estate, this could be the last time that 90% of the population can afford a home that is a reasonable home to live in. Because if homes are average price 420, 430, and there's actually a boom and it ends up being where the average price is somewhere like 550 to 600K, that means you have to make like $200,000 a year household income. Now, if you are making $200,000 plus per year, then you get to have a choice on where you're going to live. Because most likely you probably shoot past 200 to 250, 300, And now you can live in any neighborhood damn near in America, except for a slight few, of course, the 10 million, $20 million homes. But all I'm trying to say is there's going to be a lot of hurt going on out here. So you have to figure out either get your passive income over the next 2.5 years, or buy stocks that can get you the passive income. The rental market is going to be very interesting. I will say that because if you have 80% of the population that's living paycheck to paycheck right now, and you're going to have to buy real estate at a higher price, what do you think is going to happen? The higher price means your mortgage is going to be higher. Your expenses are going to be higher because taxes are going to be higher. Insurance is going to be higher. So therefore, are you going to be able to rent it out at the higher price? What if people lose their jobs? What if they can't pay for it? Then what? You're holding the bag. And of course, you're probably going to live somewhere else. So a bunch of dominoes are going to fall. But what do we do here? We get you in position. And the only position you should be looking at is invest fast now. That's where you should be looking at. Even homes may be good, but it's going to be a short-term ride because I anticipate 3 years from now, it's going to be a very, very different story after you suck out all of the riches and the riches are being spent by the rich people. What does that leave? That leaves ordinary citizens, which at that time will be 80 to 85% living paycheck to paycheck. They will not be consumers. They will be sitting right where they're at. Nobody's going to be out here buying stuff. So therefore, there's going to be layoffs. There's going to be all kind of bad. We'll see if I'm going to be right again. All right. 3 years, ladies and gentlemen. You got 3.5. Get in the game. All right. Victor Marrero, he says, in my opinion, if you aren't in the stock market, you're losing money every day. Exactly. You have to be. You have companies that are doing dividends every week. How can you sit on the sidelines getting free passive income? Even if the stock goes up or goes down, there's nothing that is wrong with getting cashola every Friday. You guys understand? Okay, let me put it a different way. Maybe I can set this up for people. There's some people watching this or on the replay who lives in an ordinary citizen house, right? Like, I was on here and I go to grandma's house and it's not very, it's grandma's house. It's built like 30, 40, 50 years ago, right? You still have these properties that you're going to live in. You're still going to have to pay bills. The value of your home is what? It's roof and shelter, and you have a place to live. It's more than just money. You need home. That's the top or bottom of the pyramid, depending on how you want to slice the pyramid. But you have to have a foundation. So that is the whole key right there. So the value does not really matter. What matters is if you say, "Oh my God, I'm getting a check here." Whether it's 500, whether it's 1,000, whether it's $20, I don't really care. But you need passive income, and you can get that with the stocks, like Victor Morel's saying. You should be out there. You won't make it due to inflation. You have to stay in front of it. And unfortunately, Victor Morero, I'm sad to say, everybody here, when I started 5 years ago, I came out the retirement, so to speak. I came out and said, "Hey, guys, in 5 years, middle class is going to be wiped out." Now I'm saying the upper middle class is going to be wiped out. That means it's over. It's game over. That means the United States and its allies who are using the US dollars and the SWIFT systems and all that, they are going to have to do something different. The different can be either we're going to have a great recession to reset or a great depression to reset. But the Federal Reserve, they have worked wonders under Jerome Powell and company's tutelage over the last 15 to 18 years. They have manipulated the system like par excellence. Now, since they've manipulated the system so long, it's going to break. And by the way, speaking of it's going to break, let me show you something here, because this is what's happening Right now, it's already breaking. But due to we have world currency, we're able to have bonds, and a lot of countries in the world are worse off than the United States. So they're buying the United States bonds for 10 years at 4%. Things like that because they can't even get 1%. So at least that's the influx, and we're able to print more money. But that also reduces your dollar. So that means inflation on reality. The dollar value decreases. So here's what I want to show you. Let me pull up a screen here. I keep forgetting. I'm still not used to this. I want to show you something here. You guys know a lot of you use Zelle, Cash App, Apple, PayPal, things like that, right? So today's November 25th, courtesy of our man Brian P. Mr. Dividend. I want you guys to see something because this stuff that's going on when everybody is having to make adjustments. This has nothing to do. This has nothing to do with new administration is going to be in this case. If we get disconnected, I'll be right back. Don't worry about it. All right, just letting you know. So, for whatever reason, I'm running a little bit slow today, but it's all right. We'll get there. But all right. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can get there. All right. I'm going to do it this way so you guys can see this plain and clear. People are out here playing around. Meanwhile, look, regulators will oversee cash apps, including Apple, PayPal. Now, regulators already look at PayPal. PayPal has its own built in. So does Apple. So does Cash Apps because they're regulated by the United States government and governments around the world. Well, in USA, actually. And then I think, I'm trying to think, Apple Pay probably goes beyond years. But look at this. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, in case you don't understand what that is, will start overseeing non-bank companies. Look at this. Non-bank companies that offer financial services such as online payments and wallet apps, the agency announced Thursday. This is crazy. The rule covers payment services for Apple, Google, Amazon, as well as firms including PayPal and Block, and will cover peer-to-peer services. The apps covered by the new rule process more than 13 billion consumer payments a year. It's probably going to be like $1 trillion or so. Digital payments have gone from novelty to necessity exactly, and our oversight must reflect this reality. They're trying to obviously collect off of it, right? The rule will help to protect consumer privacy, guard against fraud, and prevent illegal account closures. Okay, they're acting like it has something that's good. I don't really understand it. But mega tech companies such as Amazon and Apple, as well as large payment firms that handle at least 50 million transactions a year, will be required to adhere to the law, which is meant to ensure that they are held to the same laws that traditional banks and credit unions abide by. What laws do credit? Okay, all right. I won't get into it tonight. Maybe I'll make a video about it because this thing about there's laws and regulations and this, that, and the other. Again, there's banks defrauding people every freaking month. Banks, plural, doing things, moving money out of people's accounts. The CEO or the bank executive stealing money, siphoning off money out of people's accounts. This thing is wild while they're trying to sit here and act like some laws. I feel so much more protected because hell, people don't lose their money at banks. I'm like, this isn't comforting. Like, what are you gonna do? They're gonna do the same thing, the same stuff that the banks do. This new rule, you'll open up your Cash App or PayPal, and it's like, where's my money? That's all. Why is my money being held? Why can't I withdraw my money? And then they come up with, oh, it's AI. We can't do anything about it. It's gonna be on hold for 3 or 4 days. It already happened to me. It's already happened. This new rule will also allow the CFPB to more closely monitor newer entities to the financial scene, such as tech companies and payment apps. Okay, that's because of the Synopsis thing. Zelle has been supervised. Yeah, they got fined. They owe the American citizens all kind of money. I'm talking the big Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all this. This is not a surprise. It's not like they forked over the money, though. Zelle has been supervised by CFPB and OCC since the network's inception in 2017. See, again, they're regulated, but yet there is still problems. Still, to this day, I wonder if they're going to say how much they had to pay. With 143 million Americans enrolled into the Zelle network, wow. Consumers, small businesses, and more than 2,200 financial institutions of all sizes, including community banks and credit unions, greatly rely on Zelle. You look, look. The only reason people rely on Zelle is because it's like, can I get the money to people now? So Zelle is one option. It could be delayed. It could be capped. They got all kind of thing because the person just signed up. You can only send them so much money. It's not like you can send them 10 grand. It's ridiculous. So that's why Cash App, Venmo, which is part of PayPal, and all these other companies were able to step in because we can do stuff fast now. And so that is the thing. All right. Has said Americans are more frequently using apps as bank accounts, sidestepping traditional banking institutions. You're damn right, because they've been listening here at the SSN Nation. This is what I've been saying. Keep your duffel bag of cash at wherever. Do not leave your money in a bank. I don't even know what people are even, I don't even understand why they're acting like this. Banks go out of business. They jack people. They sell their accounts. They sell off the brokerage account, then hold the brokerage account money. And I mean, this is just a travesty. And these guys are acting like everything's fine. This is why I get annoyed when I read about banking because I'm no friends with banks. I don't even like banks, really. They're necessary evil. What began as a convenient alternative of cash has evolved into a critical financial tool processing over $1 trillion. I told you, between Clinton's family and Mr. Bureau. You know what? Rule, which was after his public major. Apps that work exclusively at one retailer, such as Starbucks, or other single source companies that offer an app are exempt from the rule. Okay. I just see this as overreach. I see this as plain overreach. Um, I don't see this any other way, quite frankly. Let me know what you guys think about this. Anybody? I want to know because I personally look at it like this. Remember when it was feasible to handle cash, right? So you would keep cash on you, and then you would have to go see your friends or say, hey, I left you money here. It's the same thing, but now since it's electronic, we don't have to say go pick up the I left you an envelope at mom's house, right? Or grandfather's house or sister's house or cousin's house, or I'll meet you over here at this place we go eat at and here's your money, right? United States wouldn't know about it, wouldn't care about it because it's actual paper that you're just carrying with you. Now it's in an app, so you don't need to carry anything with you. You can just transfer it. And now they are figuring out, okay, there's so many transactions. So what? Why does it matter? Why don't you worry about the guys who are sitting there making trillions of dollars and somehow paying less than 1% in taxes? Why don't you worry about that? Because that $1 trillion of transactions that just went through, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. This is why I get disgusted. I'm sorry when I get disgusted because this type of stuff I shouldn't even be reading. This is why I get disgusted. You guys don't even know the top 10% of the wealthiest people in America. How much wealth do you think they have? Anybody? 5 trillion, 10 trillion, 50 trillion? Our deficit is 35, 36 trillion in the United States. Try $139 trillion. Now, if they paid like let's just say 10% tax, 10% less than the average citizen, that'd be $13 trillion. Seriously? You know what our federal budget is every year? It's less than $13 trillion. This is insanity. This is insanity. But they're going to let these guys pay damn near, oh, yeah, it's all right. You guys, you own all that wealth. Just pay your 1.9%. Just pay your $5 trillion. We'll see you later. Go on about your business. Meanwhile, the rest of the population has to cover the deficit. This is just insanity. All right, all right. I won't get into it no more. Make sure you smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. I shouldn't even have read that one because I get a little fired up about these, right? But here's what else is going on out here, ladies and gentlemen. You won't believe this. This is like one of those days where you got to sit back and relax for a second and realize, smell the roses and go, man, the stock market is on fire. Do I have any stocks in the stock market, and what company should I get? A lot of people are saying tech companies. A lot of people are saying all kind of things. You're going to have to do your own due diligence. But I do know this. I showed Yield Max ETFs, and I'll keep showing them because the distribution rate is off the charts. And since there's like 4 things that have a distribution rate of no more than 4. There's at least 10 that have 50% or more distribution. What does that mean? I put in $1,000. At the end of the year, I'll have 500 of the 1,000 in a distribution. What will the stock price be? That's where you have to go study, ladies and gentlemen. I would stick with the most popular stocks like Nvidia, like Tesla, right? AMD, Coinbase, MicroStrategy because of Bitcoin or Bitcoin. So those are given these type of returns because they do option tradings. YieldMaxETFs.com. Make sure you smash that like button before you go there and check it out. I'll show it on screen. Brian P., the man responsible for some of these articles. Thank you so much for being here in the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream tonight. And along with Doll, Rockefeller, Vince Lamont, Lima Jahatuba is also in the house on Instagram, Brian P., because of you guys. There's people coming. Make sure you go follow on Instagram. We're under Stop Struggling Now on Instagram. But again, Brian P., Mr. Dividend in the house, and with the icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And he says, hello, Eric. I hope all is well with you. Yeah, we're still hanging, man. We still alive. We still kicking. And we're going. Hello, SSN family. I got the notification and saw the trailer, and he did the trifecta, which is dear to my heart. He also smashed that like button like you're supposed to do. And to the channel if you still haven't and you like what we're talking about. But once again, ICWY. Is that right? Man, I'm like losing my mind. There's so many different things that you can do. But let's get into it, shall we? Check this out. You won't believe this, ladies and gentlemen. We got another one. It's out of control. Look at this. Charlotte woman allegedly stole her coworkers' identities to get college student loans for her family. This is what it's coming to. Third world country, but you don't know it yet. Everybody's looking for what I can do to get over and do crazy stuff, illegal activities. They don't care because you're going to need money in America. There's not like fruit trees growing in the backyard in most people's places. All right. You're going to need food. You're going to need health care. You're going to need a job. So again, a Charlotte woman has been charged after being caught stealing her co-workers' identities to get college student loans again for her family members. The woman's 52 years old. This is insane. She did it for August 19th for 4 years. Steal 5 of her co-workers' identities. This is insanity. including their social security numbers, oops, which she used to fraudulently obtain college student loans for family members. She requested more than $250,000, at least 13 college student loans. Good God Almighty. That's insane. I mean, this just isn't stopping, ladies and gentlemen. This is why you have to put your money into the stock market. Forget the bank, get a brokerage account, and whatever disposable income you have, you got to buy stocks right now. Growth stocks, dividend stocks going to pay you passive incomes, ETFs, they're the big boys. I mean, if it's QQQ, if it's SPY, I don't care. It's going to keep going up. So if those you get those ETF ones and the stock market keeps going up 10% every freaking 7-8 months, you're not going to mind 20, 30, 40% return in 2-3 years, right? Or 50 or 60, who knows what it's going to go to. Because Trump is putting everybody in place to make sure that the stock market is going to be rocking. All right. It's going to be a rocket ship. But remember, when you run out of fuel, what goes up must come down. And they're about to add some fuel when they do that tax cut and tax break scenarios. And once again, it'll be a rocket ship. But when it comes down and you run out of fuel and nobody has any money, nobody's going to be buying anything. It's going to be bad. Even the Federal Reserve, I don't know how they pulled off the softish landing thing, which was a miracle, which I don't know if it's really soft landing if we have to pay damn near 50 to 100% more than we did like 3 years ago. But nonetheless, you can call it whatever you want. I call this a complete, utter failure. This is why we talk about real estate outside of America. Yes, we started this 4.5 years ago. And there's a method because Dominican Republic is close by, just like Puerto Rico's close by. But Puerto Rico is a United States territory, just like the Virgin Islands. Well, half of them. Some of them British Virgin Islands, the other half United States. But my point is, you don't want any USA fingers on any damn thing because you don't know what's going to happen in 4 years. 3.5 to 4 years, you don't know. If everything's rocking and rolling, somehow it ends up being fine, then you did the best thing anyhow because you put yourself in position early. So you'll just keep riding the storm. You'll be loving it because you'll have your passive income coming in and it's paper. You don't have to manage it. You don't have to get calls from Airbnb. Hey, do you have this for me? Or you don't have people wanting to try to cancel 3-4 weeks before, all this crazy stuff that's happening right now. So putting it into a brokerage account and managing it yourself or allowing someone else to, then I suggest you do that and ride the wave for the next 3.5 years minimum. All right, let's see. This right here. Arizona County Treasurer pleads guilty to embezzling. Look at this. 38 million for personal use. Again, courtesy of Brian P. Look at this. These are actually county officials, government officials and bankers. 38 million. Just like, I mean, like, this is insane. A former county treasurer in Arizona has pleaded guilty to stealing over 38 million to pay for upgrades on her personal ranches. Purchase at least 20 vehicles and pay for personal items for herself and her family. Okay, now I'm just going to say this just so everybody understands. The DOJ, these guys exaggerate. If they say 38 million, I'd be willing to bet you it's probably more like 5 million. I'm just saying. If it's 38, it's 38, but these guys exaggerate. But let's see what the 62-year-old got elected treasurer of Santa Cruz County. Oh, she's over there in the rich land. Okay. This is crazy. Admitted, according to court documents, I agree. I owe restitution in the amount of 38 million. Oh my God, then maybe it was. The Justice Department said the scheme involved nearly 190 wire transfers. So again, you guys realize as soon as you go, oh, well, you don't even have to do 10,000. But let's just say everybody goes in their head, it triggers a report after it's 10,000 or more. So people are dumb and do like 9,500. And there's always a report that can be triggered. It has nothing to do with the 10. But nonetheless, if you do 190 wire transfers, that's a red flag. How many reports are you supposed to get from the bank going, hey man, this was a 1 million or 500,000 or 50,000 or 100,000, and the IRS and everybody just sits there and says, yeah, that's normal. The woman does make like, 5 million a month or something. I'm like, come on, man, this is crazy. Gopher subverted the two-step approval process by using the credentials of a subordinate Santa Cruz County employee so the Gafar could both initiate and approve the wire. Okay, it's still going to hit in the system. Additionally, to cover up the scheme, falsified accounting records. Okay, that doesn't matter. When you wire, it goes through the Swift banking systems. So it still triggers it. It doesn't stop it. It's not like she can do anything about it. Maybe Victor Moreau will tell me if I'm wrong on that, but there is no way. Cash reconciliation record, yeah, in-house, she can fake everything if she's high enough. Investment accounts conceal the millions of dollars that she had stolen from. I told you, it's always the investment accounts because everybody's just leaving. Yeah, give me my 9, give me my 10, give me my 15% this year. That's right. We're loving it. All right. And that's why you're not going to touch it. They're not going to roll in there and try and take the whole thing out. Even if they rolled in there and said, hey, give me 50 grand out of it or cash this, 50 grand's nothing. 100 grand's nothing. A lot of people have 500, 600, a million, 2 million, 5 million in there. So she's tapping it. GovFair also failed to report any of the stolen funds as income for tax purposes. I told you. Did I tell you the tax guys are like, wait, what? Wait a minute. How did you transfer money and where's our money? I knew that was coming. Where's our money? What's happening? Gulfar has released from custody, ordered to surrender her passport. She's scheduled to be sentenced February. Face up to 35 freaking years. And she's 62 years old. I wonder what's going to happen. Guess she gets like 15 so she can be 77. 35 is a death sentence. We'll see. Noting the irony of an employee who oversees the county's money instead stealing it. This is what we've been saying, though. Everybody's in on the steal. Everybody. Because the cost of living is outrageous. And that's why Victor Moreau, when he showed up tonight after he's been out the country, he comes back. And what did he say? It's the land of, what is that one that you said? It's the land that can't afford a damn thing. What was it? I'm back in Florida. Here it is. I'm back. Let's see. I'm back in Florida. Back on the I can't afford anything land. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. People are like, these people have nice jobs. Why are they starting to do this? This has been a trend that keeps going and going and going every day. There's some official that oversees money and they're scalping. They're taking it out of people's accounts. Or multiple people, like last month, where the guy was just taking, I'll go here and grab myself some money. I'll go there, grab myself some money. The people were elderly, so they're going to leave their money in there because that's what they're living on. And so he's just siphoning off 50, 100 accounts. And all it takes is 20 grand there, 10 grand there. You do that like 20, 30 times, you got a few $100,000 a month. So, and they work for the freaking institutions. This is what's so maddening. It's crazy out here. All right, Brian P. He says, let's see here, banks. I'm going to take this one off. Let's get that down. All right, banks want all of the control. Exactly. They've always wanted all the. Actually, it's not the. Okay, it is the banks, but it's the Federal Reserve. All right. So America's not what a lot of people think. America was flat broke in the let's say 1910s to 1920. So the rich guys all got together and said, hey, we'll give you a loan, But we're going to have our own Federal Reserve. Notice federal, but we're not federal. So that's how this all starts. The richest families gave a loan, and by the Federal Reserve's nature, they control the economic environment in America and have some perks, obviously. Because if I can write paper, okay, let's just put this plain and simple. If all of us watching this stream right now were the richest guys and we said we'll give you a loan to America, we'll give you the $36 trillion to get you out of debt. All right. Now we have the Federal Reserve. Now the next day we say, hey, who wants to invest in America? We have bonds for sale. We'll give you 2 or 3%. And then you know what we're going to do? We're going to go see the banks. And the banks, hey, man, every time you do an overnight transaction, we want a percentage. Here's some money. But if you default, we get your asset. So they get assets by default. They controlled all economic systems. You guys, it's not a joke. So go study up on it. And then you're going to be like, okay, there's so many different barriers and so many people doing irons in the fire, but the Federal Reserve is very, very powerful. And people don't realize it. And they're out here doing things, and other countries started doing it. International Monetary Fund, central banks all over the world started mimicking what our Federal Reserve does here. Except they don't have world currency, so they can't do the same games. So I'm just saying. All right. The banks all want control. That is correct. It's not so much the banks. The banks would be out of business. Remember, the Federal Reserve can always print money. Banks, notice how many banks have blown up in the last 40 years. Savings and loan crisis came. Then, almost 20 years later, the debacle of 2007 and 8, banks almost went down again. They should have been left to die and let more prosperous and more efficient banks step up. But they said, oh, no, we want Bank of America. We want Chase. We ain't going to let you guys fall. We want Wells Fargo. We'll let Lehman Brothers fall. They ain't really a bank. But we ain't going to let the banks. Come on now. We'll let a few other of these side banks fall, but we're not going to let the big three fall. They're part of us. We're not going to let Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Chase Bank fall. Come on now. So Ben Bernanke sits in there and scares the government officials, saying, hey, man, if we don't get any money, the whole economy is going to collapse. And oh, by the way, it's not just our economy, since we're like all over the world. It's going to affect the whole world. So give us our money, so bailout money, so we can get back to business and not fix a damn thing. So that's why this next one is coming after this next rocket ship ride that should ensue. It would be so awesome if Trump gets in and says, you know what? I changed my mind on this tax cut, tax break thing, but I already know that's not going to happen because he already asked Jerome Powell to step down, and he already asked to reduce the interest rates rapidly, going to negative maybes with like a Eurozone nonsense. He wants the middle class to just be done. He just wants to be done with the upper and middle class and lower middle class. He's like, man, forget that. Only the rich people in the house. Joel Nolasco, an investor, is at Instagram. Welcome. I see you, man, to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Fresita, I see you again. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, guys, everybody on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram yet, go over. We're Stop Struggling Now. Make sure you follow. We were up to 9:30, and for the last, since Friday, we've been on 9:28. And they haven't taken any more away, which is interesting because normally they usually take another 3 or 4 back. But this time we're sitting at 9:28. So maybe that's a good sign. It's over 9:21, which we sat at for years. But now we moved up another 9 or so followers. They've let us stay. All right. So I just want to say, make sure you guys out there smash like buttons, smash follow buttons, smash hearts. No matter where you're watching from, we're on several platforms, so make sure you show some love. All right. The banks want all control. You know how that works, man. They're part of the system. I'm in the Yield Max Club, says Brian P. You're damn right. Yield Max ETFs, got to be in there. Got to be. Got to be. I did this on Friday um, because I can now. I'm going to see if we were still off the systems, and I should be able to run it in the background so people can see the distribution rates. This is no joke. You could actually make a lot of money within a 1 year or less plan. You can go with this high risk, high rewards, is what I call it, because they're doing income option trading. It's not based on the stock itself. So if the stock is hot, a lot of people are doing puts, calls, and option trading, right? A lot of transaction money's going through, and that's what these guys excel at, and a few others like ICMY, DTE, all right, FEPI. You can go to Defiance Group. So look at what's on the screen. You see this. This is Amazon, 82.84% distribution. It's a yield based on what you buy the stock for today or tomorrow. And that's your yield. But because it's option income trading, you want the hot stocks because that means more option money. And that's what they give out as dividends. They do not buy the stock. There is no underlying stock. So when you see these numbers, this is Disney, 52%. But there is a fallout from this. Netflix, look at this, 50. Ladies and gentlemen, just think of 72%. All right? As close as you can get to 72. That's what you need to concentrate on. When somebody's talking about this 25 is still good, right? Look at these numbers for distribution. 23 by JP Morgan. I mean, this is outstanding. Now, look at this, 91%. Look at this, AMDY. Unbelievable. PayPal, 41.1. Again, notice they use distribution rate. There's a reason, because they're not buying the stock. So the dividends that are coming in just continue. Look at this, Moderna, 98%. This is insane. Wait till AI, 109. I mean, this is insane. So this is why for over it's almost 2 years now, some people here have been investing in Max ETFs. Because this is December coming up. And by the way, December, SSN Lifestyle, Punta Cana Investors Forum. If you're interested in real estate, you're interested in coming outside of the country, getting yourself some real estate, starting a business, having a bank account there, which is separate from America, but you're an American citizen. So no matter where you earn, to report it. Supposed to. But if you have a corporation in the DR, you don't have to register it in America. But the BOI wants you to register it in America. Just saying. That's the beneficial owners information report. I made a video, search the channel, or go to or Google beneficial owners information. 70% for Airbnb. Man, my Airbnb are like not happening. I mean, some guy just reserved a Formula One for next year in Las Vegas from me, but that's not the norm. He's like, I'm like, okay, fine, but we don't get paid till next year. So to me, it's just doesn't mean much. But I'm having, it's like 10, it's like less than 10%. And I have stuff in all the allegedly hot places. If it's snowing right now, okay, no problem. Park City, Lake Tahoe, Big Bear, nothing. Formula One this week. Man, it must not be going well because I haven't even gotten anything for Formula One, but it's Thanksgiving, so it's kind of weird. In Las Vegas, all these things are actually going down because people living paycheck to paycheck, flights, accommodations, and everything costs way more than it did like 3-4 years back. So now there's a problem. It was going to catch up with us sooner or later. We knew it. 51% for Nvidia, 82% for Amazon. I mean, we're back. But I'm just saying, that's insane, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy. Real crazy. And I see I didn't even have it on the screen, so you guys didn't even see it. So now I'll just leave it there again. All right. So yeah, Brian P's in the Yield Max Club. Victor Marrero's in the Yield Max Club. Look, YBTC. Yep, that's right. TSLY, CRSH paying this week. Cha-ching on Friday. NY Mag, NY Max every week. Well, these right here are monthly on the third. What is that? The third week, fourth. Well, it's almost like the fourth, but I don't know how they count it. But let's just say the fourth week. Fourth week of the month, these are paying out. And then every Friday, YMAG and YMAX. So when YMAG and YMAX comes through there, you'll see what they're paying out. It's a modest number, but it's every week that you get to reinvest your dividends. All right. So what more can you ask for? And cha-ching is an understatement because the distribution rates are so high that you don't have to be in this long term. You could look at that 107 for SQY. That's insane. Distribution rate. That's if the share price, and you can get these shares at Robinhood, Webull, any brokerage account. They're on the stock exchanges. So down below in the description box, if you want to get your free shares of stock, make sure Robinhood, Webull, and if you say, hey, I don't want anything to do with that, I want to place my money in the ETF, Wealthfront is a ETF. They manage your money for free. If you have $500 up to $4,900 in your account, it's managed for free, no cost. So go over there, sign up for one of those. If you want to set it and forget it and not even buy stocks, we got you covered. There's several things you can do, but I mean, that's one of them. So yeah, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. That's what it is. But you guys see this. There's CRSH 55. See? The following high yield dividend ETFs and their dividends for this Friday: YBTC, IWMY. I kept saying ICMY. I don't even know why. IWMY, QQQY, QDTE, XDTE, WDTE. It's a beautiful thing. This is what we've been saying, ladies and gentlemen. You've been missing why we are oppressed. Because can you imagine if there was thousands of people that knew that they could do this? And this is what's crazy. We have Mr. Dividend out here who would say, okay, I have 1,000 shares and some of these stock prices are like $12. So he would spend 12,000 or 14,000 or 15,000. But here's the thing. If the dividend is giving out 50%, now all of a sudden it's like insane. Your 1,000 is like you're getting $600 for the 1,000 shares in 1 month. And then the following month, potentially another 600 to 700. In some cases, the stock might cost 20,000 for 1,000 shares, but then all of a sudden something weird happens because you have MSTY, and MSTY, because of crypto and MicroStrategy, does a lot of options trading because crypto's booming. They give a dividend in 1 month for $4.42. Now all of a sudden you're getting a check for $4,420 for 1 month because you have 1,000 shares that you bought at $30,000. And a lot of people would say, wait a minute, did you just say I got $4,400 in 1 month and I only bought the shares for $34,000? That's over 10% already. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It gives you an advantage where you don't have to keep it in there. You could say, okay, I like 10%. Let me take my 10% and go home, or just leave it there. I'm not going to, or sell the shares, whatever. I'm going to have to pay capital gains if they went up. But if they didn't go up, great. Just leave it in the accounts. No reinvestments. Simple. Take your 9%, 10%, 14, 12% and go home. Or you can wait till the next month because it's still going to be hot. What happens if it's $2? Now you got $6,000 in 2 months and your investment was at 34,000. Most people are going to be like, wait a minute, that's almost 20%. When you start really thinking about it, you're like, whoa, I love this. And then what are you doing with that 20%? Are you reinvesting? So now you have more than 1,000 shares. You have maybe 1,200. And now all of a sudden, now instead of, if it came out again for $2, now it's $2,400. See, this is the power of these things. So thank you for mentioning this. This is why you always have to have the pen, pad, and paper, ladies and gentlemen, because we don't want anybody left behind after this next run. Nobody. It's going to be rough out here. I just got to say it's going to be rough. Anything that you have to borrow for is going to be rough. It's going to be rough. You're going to need your good credit. You're going to buy, but money is going to dry up after this boom. And the boom is actually going to benefit those that are the wealthiest because they're the ones that is buying up everything right now. That's an asset. So that's why the prices are going boom, because these guys are spending trillions of dollars. But after they spend the trillions of dollars, then what? Right? This is pretty simple. This is not rocket science. It's almost like if I knew, I'll give you a perfect example. If I know we have 100 people and I know 70 out of 100 is not even in the game because they live paycheck to paycheck, they don't have disposable income, they're out the game. Me and my buddies who are in the top, we're in the top 10. We're from 90 to 100. We're the top. We have all the money. We have trillions. We control 70% of the wealth. All right. We own 93% of the stock market. So we're the ones that get subsidies from taxpayers. We're the ones that get government loans. We're the ones that can go to the Federal Reserve and say, hey, man, can I get an interest only loan for 2.5% for 15 years? So I can go down here and buy me a dividend stock that gives me 10% annually right now, or 9% like a JEPI, JEPQ. Arbitrage the 7%, 6.5% every year on hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't think you're going to be mad. You're going to be like, I'm loving life. Meanwhile, 70% off the table. So that only leaves 71 to 90 to 89. And they are going to be the upper middle class who are going to put some money into the stock market and do some, but they don't have the trillions. They're in the billion club or less, hundreds of millions club. Trillions is much different. So therefore, everybody else gets left behind. They stop buying. They have the assets. You don't, because you couldn't buy them. So for them, they'll just sit there and be like, okay, fine. We can afford to sit here. We have the money. We don't really need any more. So that's what you have to think about, ladies and gentlemen. This is what's going to ride out in the next 3.5 years. So you're going to have to make choices here. You're going to have to basically get yourself out of debt. That's one. No matter how you slice it. I mean, you got to get out of debt because it's not going to be sustainable. The interest rates are rising for any credit card or any loans. You're getting the notices this year. You're going to get a notice. Your interest is going to go up. All right. So you can't be holding debt. All right. On the rocket ship, can't be holding debt. I got to get some. What's this? I got to get some, Victor, says Brian P. He's saying I got to go get some of this, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I hear you. Joe Nay is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he has the icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And he says, what's good, SSN Nation? How is everybody on this Money Making Monday? Everybody's doing good, Joe Nay. Look forward to seeing you in the Punta Cana Investors Forum. Luckily, you'll be there. We're going to go down. We're going to see what's shaking, what's new, what we can make happen. And he'll be in the house. So I'll look forward to that. Everybody else who wants to join us, go to ssnlifestyle.com. Get your tickets today. It does not include airfare. It does not include hotel. But if you are going to stay there, you can stay anywhere you want. But I suggest you stay in Los Corrales for now. Why? Downtown really doesn't have anything. What do I mean? I mean, it has something. It has a grocery store. It has a mall. But after that, they have restaurants by Coco Bongo, things like that. But they don't hardly have any places to stay other than AC Hotel, Central Park. I think that's it. There isn't anything. Casa might be doing a few rentals, but again, you're downtown. Los Corrales, you're by the beach. You have restaurant, bars, nightclubs, casinos, 5-minute walk to the beach or less. And it's nice. It was built for tourism, basically. That is the tourist zone. But in 3 years from now, it'll be a whole different ball game. There'll be other areas. But right now, we leave near Los Corrales every morning. So that's why I say it. You can stay anywhere, but I'm just letting you know. You'll have the itinerary, so you'll know where we're going to be if you want to drive yourself or ride yourself or do whatever. But nonetheless, for everybody that's there, that's where the jump off spot is. All right, let's see. Come join us. You want to start a business? You want to get some no credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry real estate? There's still only a few bargain pieces left. What do I mean by bargain? It's based on how much can you rent things for. And again, 0.1%. Whatever you buy something for, you want to do 0.1%. Be able to rent for 0.1% or higher. You can't go out here and buy one bedroom units for $190,000, $200,000. Unless it has a water park, unless it has some amenities that's like an all-inclusive that's on your grounds. Okay, now that would make sense because you'll be able to rent it higher. But you just can't buy a condo or a villa in a regular old neighborhood and spend like 400 grand for a villa and think you're going to be getting $400 per night if it does not sleep past 8 people. It's not going to happen. So now if you do 500 or 400 per night or 300 per night, and they're doing the 25 to 30% management fee, you're going to be in single digits. So you have to do 400,000 means you have to be able to rent it for more than $450 a night just to stay above double digits. But you're going to fall under because now they're cracking down on the tax. Just saying. Dominican Republic is its own country. They can crack down on taxes. And Airbnb is going to hand over the information like I told people on Friday. All right, in case you missed it Friday and you weren't here, it already happened to me. I told you guys the story. I even posted the article. You can Google it yourself. For 3 years, it's 2020 or 2021 when I got a notice from a state of Hawaii. And the thing said, you owe us $100,000. Okay, $122,000. And I'm like, what is this? I'm thinking it's a joke. Is this a joke? What is this? Come to find out, Airbnb, because they wanted to get friendly with the state of Hawaii, they gave them the top 1,000 earners, Airbnb host that made the most, the top 1,000, they turned it over to them. Not everybody, just the top 1,000. For 3 years in 2016, 2017, 2018. And they did some stuff that is unbelievable. It's even worse. If you think DR is crazy, these guys were like, oh no, it doesn't matter where it is. I'm like, yes, it does, because you guys have a situation and you give exemptions if a hotel, any activity at a hotel, there's a manager department that pays the taxes for every person that checks in. So it's paid because the whole building has to send the money. They said, oh, no, we're not. No. No, we're not. They're not going with that. I'm like, what do you mean you're not going with that? That's your freaking law. You are going with that. And they're like, no, you're on the list. I was like, I know, but see, I already pre-exemptive strike. That's why I only do timeshare condo hotels. They're already approved to be a hotel and they already pay taxes. And everybody that checks in has to pay taxes. That's why they charge you $10 to $15 per night, because that's the tax based on how much the nightly rental is of the hotel, not of your unit. So therefore, we pay HOA or maintenance fees. So I'm like, what are you talking? They argued and argued and argued. Said, oh, we don't care, man. We're just gonna try and jack you. So it's a wild process. So don't be shook and don't act all smug if you think like what people were saying on Friday, if you guys weren't here, saying, oh, my cousin doesn't pay. I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you that doesn't matter. There's already precedent where Airbnb will hand over, because Airbnb wants to be with Dominican Republic and with any place that they can get business, because every transaction they make money. So do you really think they're not going to throw you under the bus and be like, here's everybody in the DR that is in our Airbnb and this is how much they made? And then the DR gets to come back to you going, hey, man, this thing says that you made like $15,000 a year. Where's our 27%? What's happening? And by the way, it looks like they gave us 3 years. And it says you made 50,000 one year and 40 another and 75 another. That looks like, it smells like 50, 60 G's. I mean, this is like no joke. All right. You guys, I'm just letting you know. You heard it here first. I don't even know if anybody even talked about this. I talked about it when it happened in 2021. But this is what's going to happen. So you can't be playing around. And this is why you have attorneys. That's why we, SSN Lifestyle, we go see attorneys, because this thing that the DR is doing with Airbnb, we don't know. We have somewhat of a idea, but I want to hear what an attorney's got to say, and somebody that's doing the accounting. I want to hear what they got to say about this, because we can't put ourselves in a situation knowingly, because we know the DR and Airbnb is going to make a deal. They already said, you make money on our island. If you're a business, we want 27%. I think even if you're a citizen, it's like 27%. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's why I need to go talk to attorneys and the accountants. I want to hear what they're going to be saying. They know, because they have clients that are in the Airbnb and real estate field, in the digital platforms. So they've had to talk to them already, because this has been talked about by DR. They said they're going to crack down. So again, watch your duffel bags of cash. Watch your assets, because they can be taken away, and that's one of the ways it's going to be taken away. Here we go. NASCAR all out. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he says, what's the best argument that we are heading for a recession? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I want to hear you clarify. What do you mean heading for a recession? When do you think that recession would occur? Do you think it's going to occur like in 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029? When do you think it's going to happen? And what do you think the catalyst is going to be? I can tell you, there are catalysts that could occur. I'll tell you, you want to know the best argument that we are heading for a recession? I'll give you one. The worst thing that's going to happen, potentially. So, stock market is booming. Interest rates from the Federal Reserve are going to come down. In the next 30 to 45 days, they will reduce the interest rate again, regardless. Because after February, when Trump gets in and has his guy, or no, Powell's not going to resign, so he's going to be there till 2026. But the point is, he even still acquiesced when he was in office before. Trump said go to zero, and the Fed damn near went to zero. But okay, I'll get to your answer. The best argument is this: stock market's rocking, tax cut, tax breaks, money's in the hands of the rich, so they're buying more. So real estate now gets pumped in because this will be next year. In the interest rate for mortgages goes down 1.5, 2 points. The catalyst, though, is this: you go round up 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 people that look like migrants, and they actually legally work here or undocumented and work here, because corporations actually hire undocumented. But you remove 100,000, 150,000, and they're not sitting in the field. They're not sitting at the factory. Who's going to go take their place? And that means you now have disrupted the supply chain and you've disrupted income of major corporations. And your food might not be coming. So what's happening then is the same thing that happened during COVID. Your food prices are going to everything's going to rise at the grocery store. Everything's going to rise at Walmart. And if you throw in some tariffs before it happens, now all of a sudden you have price increases of potentially 10, 20, 30%, and you have supply chain issues, and you're going to have food issues. You have food issues, you have health issues. You have supply chain issues, you have corporations filing bankruptcy. You have people being laid off. That is how you short circuit something sooner than later. And it looks like they're going with the sooner than later approach talking. I'm referring to the Trump administration. But that is what they're saying they're going to do next year. So that will circumvent my 3.5 year outlook, because I would not think somebody's going to be stupid enough to do this. But it looks like we're going to have tariffs, tax cut, tax breaks, and you're going to remove potentially 20, 30, 50, 100,000 people from a workforce. And they're not going to be replaced with anybody. So once you understand what is going on, and then you understand health, food, and potentially medical, because if they repeal the Affordable Care Act, man, it's wraps for a lot of people. Jobs are going to be gone. It's going to be laying waste to America. It'll be bad. And it's self-inflicted, because it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way at all. So we're not competing with the world anymore. We're not the leaders. Everybody in the world has computers. Everybody in the world has software. Everybody in the world has all the stuff. If we're ahead at all, it's not by much. And there's probably some other places that are ahead, which I know they are, because they have things that we don't have here. I can't tap on a window and put in a code for the car that just came to pick me up with no driver in it. See, we don't have that in America, but they have that in China and whoever else knows. They have some other things in places like Norway. They have mass transportation in all developed countries, but we don't. Right? There's certain things. So there's my argument, but we're not going right now. That's going to happen with the triggers. There has to be a tariff, which they're talking like day one, but that's bad. And if you start rounding people up like they're talking February, you're going to put a kibosh on the whole everything, tariffs and rounding people up. And then you have to spend the money to hold them somewhere, the buildings. And then what? And it's just like prison. So that means you have industrial complex, which means taxpayer money, has to pay for, let's say, 100,000, 150,000 people, let's say, if that's what it is. Where are they going to hang out at as you're detaining them? Or as you're doing what the Homeland Security guy said, we're going to go house to house. I mean, you're going to pay people to do this. This is, I'm going to say history's repeating itself. This is like freaking 1930s in Germany if you start doing that. So again, that's costly. That means you need vehicles. That means you need personnel. That means that's a complete waste of resources that America, who's $36 trillion in debt, where are they going to keep getting this money from? So there's your best case, man. How did I do NASCAR all out? Let me know. But that's how it's going to go down. But that's how we get to the 3-year thing when there's lay waste to everybody who doesn't have an asset. That, and an asset at this point is not a house. But the reason I say that is because in America, you're going to have people who aren't going to pay their insurance bill. They're not going to be paying their property tax bills. So that means the people that do pay have to cover it. So they have to raise the prices. And that's your only safeguard was your insurance was low, your property taxes was generally low, and your house would rise up a little bit and nicely. And so you could stay in your house. But you can't do that anymore if all of a sudden your insurance bill is freaking $6,000, $8,000 a year. It's not any good when the property management, the property bill comes and the tax bill, and all of a sudden it says $8,000. I mean, this is what's happening. So you're going to have to come out of pocket just for your house, potentially something like $1,500, $2,000 per month. And that ain't even rent. That's not even mortgage. And we still haven't even gotten to the HOAs, and we haven't gotten to, if you're in that, you haven't even gotten to water, sewer, garbage bills that's going to rise, the energy bills that you're going to have to live under. You haven't even gotten to none of that yet. So see, when we start talking about it, this is why 3.5 years from now, that's when I think we're talking about all those who did not plan ahead. And luckily, you guys are here tonight and you're elsewhere around the universe. And I appreciate it. But if you buy assets and it doesn't go like how I'm saying, then you win anyhow. But if you don't buy assets and it goes how I'm saying, you're screwed. You're screwed. It ain't like you can just roll out to another country because by then, some of the airplane companies will be bye-bye. And that also means since there's less competition, airfare prices will be higher. It ain't like you moving fast. That's all I'm going to say, especially if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 people that you need to move. So just think about all this. Very nice question, NASCAR All Out. If anybody has anything they want to say about it, let me know because I want to hear if anybody else has what's the best argument that we are heading for a recession. We are going for a recession. Just put that out there, NASCAR All Out. We will be in a recession. But when? That's why I asked you. Hopefully you answered. I want to know if you think it's going to be next year, 2 years, 3 years. And I put it at 3.5 years. Why do I put it at 3.5 years? It's simple. All these executive orders or whatever is put forth, they're going to be challenged. So that gives it like a potentially 3, 6, 8 month delay before implementation or change and whatever. So that's where I think we're going to be at. And so 3 years from now, 3.5 years from now, and I told people on Friday, you have 2.5 years to get your assets. After 2.5 years, that's when this tipping point starts going, we feel even more pain. And 85% to 90% of the population will be living on edge. And the top 10%, they will be fine because they have a massive amount of money. But ultimately, they fall down because if you don't have workers and if you don't have people that can buy your goods and services, now all of a sudden that starts retreating. Companies start going out of business and moving to Mexico or China or any other low income place will not help you as a corporation. Now, as an individual, that's why you have to start scoping out your place, the rules, the regulations. I personally, I'll tell you this, DR is only for a reason. And I told people before 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, when I said, if anything happens, the reason why I choose the Caribbean is because I can get on a boat on the East Coast. I can walk to the East Coast. I can get to a marina on the East Coast. I can get on a boat. If I can't even get on a plane, I can get on a boat. We can make a deal, right? We can make a deal. We can take a 2-day journey, get over to DR, right? So if you own property there and a few other things, but mostly at least you have property there. So when you show up, it's your place. Even if you have a 90-day visa situation, they're not strict. You overstay your visa. Okay, great. You're gonna owe whatever, 200 or 300 bucks, $45, whatever the case may be. They're not really strict. And they won't be strict because if America's fallen down, that means nobody's going to the DR either. Because over 50% of tourists are from the United States. But you own property there. So they're going to be like, okay, all right, we can work with something. Give us a little funds and whatever. We'll work it out. So that's why that versus people would say, why Costa Rica? Why not Colombia? Why not Thailand? Why not Dubai? Why not? Because I can't get there. That's the problem. If something happens, I can't leave. I can't get there. So what if the property's, 8,000 miles away? I can't get there. So that was the reason why I said everybody get something nearby that you can get to. You can walk across the Mexican border too, but unfortunately, you got to go through the who's the cartels. And the cartels are no joke. No joke. You don't want to play with these guys. You don't even want to be in their vicinity unless you know somebody. You don't even, and even then, you don't want to be in their vicinity. I'm just saying, especially with boys, girls, men, women, elders, and nobody, because these guys run in, let's call it gang affiliations, and all they need is somebody to say, "Hey, go grab them guys, put them in the sex trafficking situation, put them up in this house. They can't leave. They got guards. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. You guys don't understand. Well, maybe some of you do understand. It's bad. So Mexico for me is not like an option because if I can't drive and I got to walk through cheeks, Mexico, it ain't safe. Even I'm not safe there. Let's just put it that way. I don't hang with anybody in the cartels, and I don't hang with anybody in the Russian situation. If anybody in the Russian that's in the mob or anything, I don't mess with them either. I got a notification. I smashed that like button. Says Joe Nay. Thank you so much, man. Greatly appreciated. All right. Let me see if NASCAR All Out came back with any reason why what he's thinking. All right. That's a good one, Victor. All right. Let's go see Crash. There it is. CRSH ETF only costs $8.16 and pays out 98 cents. That's crazy returns. 10% for 1 month. Over 10. No, that's oh no, that's 12% in 1 month on an $8 stock. See, ladies and gentlemen, there's opportunities everywhere. That's why Victor Morel's in the house with the wife doing this salsa dance. He's like, yeah, come on now. Gotta love it, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you got to be in the game. By the way, speaking of in the game, there's something else. Unstoppable domain because crypto's a thing, right? In fact, let me take this off screen. Let me just go over here. There's a link down below in the description box. All right. Go down in the description box. Uh-oh. What was that? Didn't go to unstop. Oh, no wonder. Okay. Unstoppable. It don't matter. I'll just do it this way. Let's see. Do I have it? Here we go. Unstoppable domain. Why? Because it's crypto. Why? Because you don't need an alphanumeric character. You can just say send it to ericbird.crypto, SSN nation.crypto, stop struggling now.crypto, ssnlifestyle.crypto. That's what we do, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I have all those domains under .crypto. Why? Because the $20, the $10, whatever it was when it first came out, was worth it because you don't owe any annual fees. Once you buy it, you own it. There's no more money due, and it's free to mint to the Polygon blockchain. So now it's just as good as a damn trademark. And they still haven't built it up yet, but you could already put websites and video on there, which now means the government can't knock it down. No ISP company can take it down because it's not on the ISP platform. And you can accept crypto. So I can accept any the top 350 cryptos. You're sending me Bitcoin, Ethereum, of course, no problem. Just send it to stopstrugglingnow.crypto. I don't have to send you my alphanumeric character. Or you can say Eric Bird, because I have that too. .crypto. I have .x. No, I don't have .x. Sorry. I have .nft for SSN Lifestyle, Stop Struggling Now as well. Because they have several different types of. Let's go. I'll show you guys now. Because they changed up a little bit over the course of the years. They even have .eth, but .eth is on the Ethereum, and that you have to pay. All right. You know how they do that, right? All right. So what I'll do is, let me see. Am I sharing this? No, not sharing it. Here. And so I'll show you some prices. In fact, let's just do it this way. Wait, where's what happened? Enter your what? I don't need to do that. Oh, we're a little slow right now. Okay. Fair enough. We'll just keep riding. But I have a link for Unstoppable Domain. I'll put in chat rooms everywhere. By the way, let me see. Yeah, there we go. Instagram people, they can get it. Twitch can get it. Facebooks can get it. And even on the live stream, you guys can wait. I can't post. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, that is crazy returns. That's Yield Max ETFs, ladies and gentlemen. That's where you go for that. Yield Max ETF. What's going on? Oh, okay. So I'll do a search. Just a second. Look, they even have the minting. Instantly mint your new domain, your personal wallet, or choose the UD Vault for enhanced security. Manager sell, checkout. They've added some things. See, that's NFT. I haven't been over here in a while, but I will do this. Recent sales. Oh, people are doing all kind of stuff. .moon, .go is also on their list. Oh, they've done several different things now. Okay, here I'll just do SSN Lifestyle. Right. So .crypto, .nfts not going to be available, and they really messed. Yeah, all these are gone. But you can see SSN Lifestyle, what they have a hyphen, of course, because I have it. Wallet, $20. NFT, $20. Crypto is now $40. This used to be $10 when it first came out. That's why I grabbed them all up for everything. NFT was like, it was a little more. It was like 15 or 20, but now it's 40. That's incredible. .x, .io, .org. I don't know what's happening. Somebody's selling these? No, these are okay. .com, .net, .org, .io. Those are domains. You don't want to buy those if you're doing crypto. You don't want to do that. All right, let me get back to business. Let's go with extra Contour 153, whatever. Let's see what we get. All right. There we go. There we go. See, .x, $10. See? There we go. .crypto, $10. NFT, look at that, $5. But I see now they're doing dynamic type pricing depending on if the name is worthwhile. Wallet, $5. Unstoppable, $2. And this ETH one, you're going to have to pay the gas fee. So don't mess with ETH. I mean, you can if you want, but I'm just saying. .coms, that means .net, .com, .org, .io, .pw. You got to pay an annual fee because that's a regular domain. You don't want that. All right. So that's what you do, ladies and gentlemen. Come over here, use the link, get yourself so that way people can send you money, crypto, not money, but crypto, just by giving your thing, giving it. Crypto.crypto is 20 mil. That's crazy. The auction, USA.crypto, 250,000. Poker.crypto, 50,000 make offer. China.crypto, AI. Okay, whatever. All right. So that's how you do it. It's that simple. Just come over, pick out something. So that way, if crypto does end up being something, then you have something. It's an asset. All right. That's the way I look at it. He says, that's a good one, Victor. All right. I wish this thing would scroll down for me, but it doesn't. I got to go see it. I'm going to have to do something. Yahweh J, another investors in the house tonight. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with that icon next to your name, which I humbly appreciate. And he says, hello, SSN Nation. Hope everyone is doing well. Received a notification and smashed the trailer. And if you like what we've been talking about, please subscribe to the channel and click the all notification bell. And no matter where you're at, follow, like, heart, whatever they got. Make sure you join us, please. All right. Very nice to see you, Yahweh J. Eric, did you see the new bill requiring Haitians to seek approval before buying property in the DR? No, I didn't see that bill, but that was always a thing. That's always been a thing. We were there, and I can't remember how it happened, but somebody was in the room that was Haitian, and they started making them. They had different paperwork, jumping through hoops. Like, in other words, we don't want you to buy stuff over here. And also, it applied to the other islands. One, I don't remember if it was Jamaica. There's another island in the Caribbean too that they were like, no, they told another island, no, you can't even buy here. So that was crazy. But yeah, I already knew they do that anyhow without the bill. That's already a thing. If you're Haitian, you better have a USA passport or a USA green card or something. Otherwise, if you're just using Haitian passport, cedula, you're going to have issues. Yeah, that's kind of messed up. But oh well. Yahweh J says new draft law proposed in the Dominican Republic aims to impose stricter regulations on Haitian nationals purchasing property and working in the country. Yeah, this is every country has restrictions. What I mean is they'll let you buy, but there's restrictions. We talked about something similar about this on Friday, where there's a person that bought from a Russian national in the United States. And I didn't even know about this. The Russian, if a foreigner buys land in America and then they sell it, that generates a capital gains for the foreign national. Crazy. Which is not real crazy, but it's crazy. And it triggered 10% of the purchase price also. Crazy. So the house sold for like 300,000. The person, the foreign national, because it was during COVID, they didn't pay. Banks were shut down. Everything was shut down. The lawyer, not a title agency, a lawyer was doing a transaction, and so he couldn't leave. So he didn't, you know, there was nothing happening. Offices, even government offices were shut down. So when he got back in January, I guess it was 2021 or 2022, I don't know which it was, but he gets back to his office, starts business back up. He then finds out that they sent a $30,000 bill to the new owner, the American person that purchased it, saying, the IRS, well, we can get the money from you because you have an asset. Crazy. So he's had a problem for years. But now the lawyer, after the guy went on TV in their local area, the lawyer, he paid the money. He had it anyhow, but now there was an extra tax on it. It was $30,000 was the extra. They paid $79,000 because they're a foreign national. I didn't even know they had this. But again, most of my transactions were in California or in states that have a title agency. I don't like going through lawyers. And in a title agency situation, all that is in your docs. That would never, well, I'm pretty sure out of all the property I ever bought, I'm pretty sure I bought something from foreign nationals. So, but it's never been a thing. But all I'm saying is it was a thing for these guys. And I'm like, man, this is getting out of hand. So, yeah, this is no shocker here. New draft law, Dominican names to impose Australia and Haitian nationals purchasing property and working. Hey, hey, DR is going to do the same thing the United States is doing. They're 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 acting just like the United States. They're acting stupid. Sure, Haiti's next door. People want to live a better life, so obviously I don't mind jumping the fence if I'm going to be over here having to deal with people that have machetes and gangs and the other cartel in Haiti. I don't want to deal with them guys either. If I got a family, you think I'm going to think yeah, there's a border here? Hell no, I'm jumping the damn fence. I mean, I'm going around on a boat and getting on the eye. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? And so I understand that all countries, whatever, I don't understand, quite frankly. Land is available, people are free. I don't get it. But nonetheless, all countries do this nonsense. And so it's no surprise. You have a country on one side, and you have a country that's trying to be up and coming on the other, but neither one is like a developed nation that can absorb any of that. So I understand DR trying to do something because they're like, hey, we're trying to do something a lot bigger. So we can't have this going on over here, even though you're our neighbor and things are bad, but we can't have the bad rolling over here because then that's going to affect us, just like a regular neighborhood. It's understandable. But there's a two-sided coin to everything. If you have, and I don't know the numbers in Haiti, so I'm just going to use a hypothetical. If you have 1 million people on one side of a fence and you have 1 million people on another side of the fence, on the right side of the fence, the 1 million people is up and coming. It's relatively safer than the other side of the fence. The 1 million people on the other side of the fence, if there's mayhem, murders, killings, starvation, it makes perfectly good sense that a large percentage of that population is going to be trying to come over to the other side. Now, as a country that has the 1 million that's up and coming, now you're going to have to expend resources to try to keep the 100,000, the 50,000, the 200,000 from coming over here trying to get a better life. So you're going to be spending and wasting a lot of money on that. So what point is there no return? That's where America is going to be if they do this deportation stuff. Same scenario. And you already are at a deficit. You got to remember, you're not flush with money. You're at a deficit. So the DR just had to borrow probably $1 billion this year. That's why now the peso to dollar went up, right? Because I seen people on YouTube and they're talking about 60 to 1. Victor Morero, when he came back, was talking about 60 to 1. Now these guys are talking about 60 to 1. They're not saying 58. They're not saying 59, 57. They're going 60 to 1. They're counting it on 60 to 1. So that means it's official. And that also means they keep borrowing because that tax reform didn't happen. Now you got the Haitian situation. What are you going to do? Basically, the Haitian situation can bring down just what was his name? NASCAR call, what was it? NASCAR. I can't. NASCAR all out. What he was talking about. The same thing has potential to happen in the DR. Why? Because that same scenario, we have 1 million people here. I'll use another number. 11 million people is in DR. I don't know how many's in Haiti. I've never looked it up because why would I? I'm not visiting. But the point is, let's just say there's equal. It's probably 8 million people in Haiti. But the fact of the matter is, those jobs that they're using to build these extravagant real estate project, commercial projects, a lot of that is thousands of Haitians on that workforce and other jobs as well, right? So they're going to run into the same thing. What happens? They already took out 60, was it 100, what was it, 62,000? Well, by now it's probably more. October 2nd through November 4th, 62,000 Haitians were deported, right? So let's just say they get it up to 200, 300,000. Who's going to replace their jobs, which are the heavy lifting jobs or service industry jobs that generally have lower wages? So now you put yourself in a situation. Yes, it's bad because there's illegal or undocumented, I understand. But at the same time, that's an ecosystem that's been going on since the dawn of time, because you have to have lower wage workers that will do the menial tasks that a lot of people, that once you get comfortable, you don't want to do. So you're not going to want to get paid $2, $5, $10 a day, right? Or whatever it is, for lifting bricks, for doing wheelbarrows, for being in the rice fields. I mean, you're not going to do that generally. The better you get, the less workers you'll have that want to do that work. So they're also going to run into a situation where you're not going to have people that's going to do the work. And then you're going to reverse yourself. But then when you reverse yourself, you've already put things in place for these people not to even be able to stay there. So it's a double-edged sword. So we'll see what happens. But that's what we're talking about. This is a worldwide epidemic. Worldwide epidemic. I'm pretty sure we have some people watching on Instagram from DR. Maybe they'll let me know how they feel about it. But that's just my way I view it. The law seeks to ban foreigners from owning property in border provinces, arguing that such areas should prioritize Dominican interest. Uh, okay. I mean, this happens all over the world. We can call it demilitarization, um, buffer zone. We can call it whatever you want to call it, neutral zone, a lower parallel, whatever. A lot of countries have it, right? So if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. That's fine. That's their country. I mean, DR, that their sovereign nation, they can do whatever they want on their side of the fence, right? But rest assured, everybody on the other side of the fence that's living in that disaster areas, they and have no food, nothing, they're going to be, hey, even if I get caught on the other side, so what? At least I have food, hopefully, and maybe I have water. Well, I don't know about water, but But all I'm saying is, at least you got something. Hopefully, it's better than nothing on one side versus nothing on the other side. But the other side is their nothing's better than the other side nothing. So therefore, that situation is never going to be resolved. The only way it gets resolved is when Haiti. I don't know when that would ever be, but Haiti also turns into a country that is up and coming, can feed its citizens, and gets rid of the corruption. Well, the gangs. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, that's no. I don't. They could do this without a law, though. It's the sovereign nation. They don't. I don't even know why they need a law for this. I mean, they just say if you. They've already do it. I mean, it's not even. There's no law, and they already do it. They're like, if you're Haitian, you can't even buy stuff. They restrict you. So if they want to make a law on it, that's fine. Border provinces. It's is. Are you saying it's just border provinces, or you? Because right now, a Haitian person coming in with an ID and nothing else, they have an issue buying. Well, they jump through hoops. I think they can still buy, but they got to jump through hoops. So, fine. A country has to protect itself. I don't have no problem with that. But either way, you're doing other. There's fallouts from it, right? Paul Castillo, another investor in the Dominican Republic who has vested interest. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with that icon I'm hoping for. I can't see it next to your name, which I humbly appreciate. And he says, hello, all. Money Making Monday. Let's do this. That's right. And Paul Castillo's happy. I went off on the other day because he owns it, the two potentially the two top spots. That's one of them's going to be built before the other, as it stands right now. But very good job. Very nice to see you, man. Glad you're in the house. Oh, by the way, did I put the? Yes, I did put the Stop Struggling, the Unstoppable domain. And also for all you guys that likes the gear, you can get some of this gear at stopstrugglingnow.com. Go to the merchandise page, or there's a link down below in most description boxes that takes you to the gear. All right. Let me know if you guys want to discuss anything else, because tonight it's more stock market record highs. It just keeps going, ladies and gentlemen. I just cannot believe it. I just can't believe it. I mean, I actually do believe it. We already knew this was going to happen. I mean, it's not like as soon as the Federal Reserve was going to reduce interest rates, it was going to happen. Now, if you start top it off with the tax cuts, okay, look, okay, NASCAR all out. Trump vows an additional 10% tariff on China. No way. No way. Oh my God. Jesus. 25% on friends. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. 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 Hourly recession. Gold plunges, but that has nothing to do with this. 25% on our, come on. This is our friends, even Canada and Mexico. See, there's an adverse situation that's going to occur. You know what's going to happen? Canada, China, Mexico are going to say, okay, we're going to have tariffs against you too. So now, United States companies that has the order from Canada, Mexico, or China, or just I'll use Canada and Mexico, you're going to have to pay 25% more. Not everything's made in America, ladies and gentlemen. Canada has, we have a dairy deal with Canada. How's this? I don't, this is nonsense. This can't be. This can't be. Basically, what we're doing is the tax breaks go to the wealthy. Everybody else who's not wealthy, welcome to the 30, 35% increase in prices from Canada and Mexico, and we already have the tariffs that we had. Biden never removed. So now what are they going to be at? 30, 35, 40% tariffs for some items from China? That means Walmart, Amazon, all these shopping places, prices are rising up. And that also means some people are about to lose their job. And some people may go, what? Lose jobs? Yes, because what's going to happen is by him saying this, the corporations who have business with Canada and Mexico, and remember, there's companies in America making things in Mexico and Canada. Remember that. Not only is it China and Korea and whoever else, American companies make stuff in Canada and Mexico. They have plants there, manufacturing facilities. So now that's going to be 25% more. So what's he trying to do? He's trying to do a situation where corporations will say, okay, we're not going to be in Canada or Mexico. We'll just come make it in America. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're smart. If you made the same wages in Mexico that you do in America, then they wouldn't be in Mexico, right? Canada is basically for dairy, but now all dairy associated products 25% more if he does this. This is insane. This is what he did before, and people gave him a pass, and now he's doing it again. And the effects are, the only reason you didn't feel it is because he did tax cut, tax breaks, and we also had stimulus checks and PPP loans and EIDL loans. So all that contributed to inflation and the deficit. So now what is this? This is even worse. This is on top of the tariffs that are already existing between the countries. This is crazy. So I guess NASCAR all out. If he does this like day one, or is he going to do this like year two? Because if he does this like right away, then the rich are going to get richer, and the 70 to 78% of people who are living paycheck to paycheck already, what does this look like? An extra 10 or 25% on prices, and people are going to be losing their jobs. People are going to be losing their jobs. Watch. By this time on Wednesday night, it'll be Thanksgiving Eve. I guess everybody be safe. I'm going to do a live stream Thanksgiving Eve, I think. But by Thanksgiving Eve, I'm pretty sure there's going to be companies coming out saying we need to do layoffs because we're going to have to buy product before Trump does his tariffs. And he keeps saying it. So therefore, I think it's going to happen. He said this when he was running. He said 10 to 20% on everybody. Now we find out it's 25% on Canada and our Mexican friends. That means everybody, because this is craziness. This is crazy. We don't manufacture, like, we're not the manufacturing hub of the world. This would be okay if we were. Well, it still wouldn't be okay, but it would be okay somewhat. But the fact that we don't manufacture like it's 1945, this is a problem. God. Oh my God, this is bad. Very bad. Very bad. Very, very bad. Sheesh, look at this. Can you guys believe this? You guys are smart. We have a lot of smart people here, and then there's a lot of people that just believes what Trump says or what his clown friends say. Uh, Basically, what Elon Musk said before the election, when he said, and it was cold-blooded when he says Americans are going to go through bad time. And if they were talking about this behind closed doors, then that's why he said it, because this is unbelievable. This is creating tariff wars. Okay, I'll do this. I'll do this right here. I'll do this. We'll do Google. All right. How many countries make products in Mexico 2024? Let's just find out for giggles and grins. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, there it is. Mexico currently has agreements for over 50 countries, meaning that companies from at least 50 different countries are likely to be producing products within Mexico, just like we have BMW, Volkswagen, Mercedes plants in America, the same type of trade partner deals. All right. So you see 50 different countries, and they're all going to do that frickin' 25% for any imports, with the United States being the primary source of foreign investment and trade partner for Mexico. Are you serious right now? Do you guys understand this is not cool if he does this? This is basically everything goes up like 30, 40%. Your milk, your eggs, your dairies, butters, and all that. I mean, this is insanity. Okay, so let me play this out for you. The rich get richer from tax cut tax breaks. 78% of the population during the month lives paycheck to paycheck in America. Therefore, they have no disposable income to buy stocks, no disposable income to buy homes, no disposable income to even pay the extra 25% or 10% for products. So now you're going to have more homeless people, more job losses. The cycle is, I mean, is this like tear down America or something? I mean, this is absurd. This is really, really absurd. Um, Here we go. So yeah, they Mexico exports to 132 countries. That's fine. Let's see who they import the most. United States, of course, of course. U.S. based companies account for more than half of Mexico's foreign investment. Of course, it's cheaper in Mexico to make. So yeah, I'm going to invest in a company there. The United States is also the source of between 2/5 and 1/2 of Mexican imports. Okay. And a destination for some 4/5 of the country's exports. Oh, sheesh. Really? Oh, no. 4/5 of Mexico's exports? Oh, wow. That's why he's doing it, feeling that. So, again, those countries that's making products going through Mexico to come in here, that's now 25% more if he does it. That's a lot of products, ladies and gentlemen. 4/5 of the country's exports is coming from Mexico for the that's insane. All right. You guys are getting a warning. I told you it was going to be bad. I told you got like 2.5 years at this point. Because if he does all this, this is bad. This is all bad. I don't know who's running the insane asylum, but this is very, very bad. All right. I don't see how this is crazy to me. This is alarming. Really alarming. It's like they're trying to make sure the rich have money and the 80 to 85% of the population is going, you this is insane. So I'm going to ask you guys something. What happens if he comes through with the US Department of Education gone? What happens if they repeal the Affordable Care Act gone? What happens if you don't take vaccines? I mean, you guys understand this is like third world country stuff. Like somebody's trying to tear down a nation on purpose. I mean, this has to be on purpose. There's no other explanation for this. You would not do this under any what country would do this? There's there's no reason. There's no country that would ever do this craziness. None. And America has a 36, 37 trillion plus derivatives in the hundreds of trillions. And we have only 54% of the world currency money out there. You, I mean, this is craziness. Any financial people, I want to hear from you. I want to hear somebody that can say something good about this. I can't see how this ends up being good, because if NASCAR All Out knew about all this and then I didn't know about all this, then yeah, people would be saying there's going to be a recession. This is for sure. And it ain't going to be 3 years from now. If he implements that this year coming up in 4 months, and everything goes up 25% plus. Remember, it's not just going to go up 25%. There's going to be a transportation cost. There's going to be additional buffers. So let's just say 40% more for that import. 12, 15% more from China. 25% more for dairy products from Canada. Staples, your food, ladies and gentlemen, is going to cost a lot more. Man, this is sad. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am really getting bummed out because more stock market records and people who are living paycheck to paycheck can't get in on the stock market because they don't have disposable income. They don't have assets other than their home. You might be left out to dry because now your insurance bill, because people are going to lose their jobs, not going to be able to pay the insurance companies. And now you're going to have to cover, whoever pays has to cover the premiums. So that means they're going to go up, and that means your car, that means your health, that means, I mean, this is not good. I'm just hoping they're just talking like this, because this, under any circumstance, no financial person, no Treasury Secretary, no Federal Reserve, nobody would do this. If I'm Putin, America, do this. If I'm Iran, America, do this. Hell yeah, do this. If I'm China, hell yeah, do this. Because again, the fallout from this is going to be vast. That means other countries are going to jump in the fray. We don't have the TPP anymore for the Asian countries. We don't have that anymore. Remember the first time he took that out? So now each country in the Asian market is going to potentially also join this freaking fest about, okay, embargo against America. You guys want to tariff our friends and tariff everybody? Okay, we're going to tariff your ass. So all your corporations ain't going to be selling in our country. And you need us more than we need you, because everything we make here, you can get elsewhere for less. So we're not 1945-ish, 1950-ish. That's over. Okay. I'm going to have this video with the star by it, because if this goes down and it's 2.5 years later, I'm going to be saying this 2.5 years from now. I'm going to be like, I told you so. Hashtag. This is a catastrophe if this happens. My God. The bankrupt dude running the countries, and he's doing it. All right. This is crazy, man. This is sad. I feel, you know why I feel this way? Because look, do you understand? I was talking with my dad's wife, and she goes, "Hey, what happens if I'm going to be affected?" She's in her 70s. I'm going to be affected if the Social Security gets cut. And I was thinking like, nah. Then I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, you will be. I was like, Jesus. I'm like, how many elderly people have disabilities, Social Security, and other knockoffs from Social Security? And if that goes bye-bye, that means a whole nother disaster zone's waiting to happen. I'm like, this is insane. If you do that, I mean, everything they're saying is like, this is almost like on purpose when you think about it. You take away healthcare, you take away Social Security, you take away, they even start talking about taking away funding for states who don't agree with their immigration practices, which is a whole nother thing. They're talking about states' rights don't apply no more, that they're going to bring the federal government into cities in a state, and they're not the police. This is wild. This is wild. If you start doing stuff, I mean, you start doing all this mayhem, this is like somebody's like trying to burn down a country. And everybody voted for this crap. I have to say it now because this is BS if this is going down. We all knew it was going to. I mean, I knew. I was telling people about it, but you guys, I don't really talk about it too much. But I told you about the tax cut, tax breaks, and tariffs for the last 6 months. You know that's a no-go zone, and now he's already starting it. Even worse with our partners, which means our partners have to respond. It's just sickening. From a business standpoint, this is unnecessary, and we have a deficit. All right, enough, because I gotta get off of here because this is terrible, terrible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look, the tax cut, tax break is going to give you 2 years, 2 years, 2 to 2.5 years. The stock market should run, but unfortunately, if he does this stuff that I'm reading about right now in the first 2 months, it's going to circumvent. There's going to be a blow we're going to take a rocket ship, but then it's going to shorten the other side. Instead of it being 3 years, 3.5 years, it's going to shorten it to 2.5 years because it's going to be in the system next year. And then it's going to take about 2 years to get out to the other side. So you're going to have 2.5 years from today. If this comes down in 6, 7 months, in case something happens to me, if this never goes down, then we're off to a rocket ship for 3.5 years. But he could cut this short by a year if he does this tariff stuff. And that hits immediately. All prices at your grocery stores and stores are all going to go up. I mean, if you think refrigerators are expensive now, yeesh, you think cars are expensive now. Wait till the ones that come from outside the USA that are shipped in here. You're not buying a car. You can't buy 70, 80, $100,000 cars. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. Okay. All right. I'm in shock, quite frankly. I really am. I'm hoping it's just talk because there's way too much spending that has to happen. You're going to reduce your revenues. So, God, this is just wild. You're going to reduce your revenues for the tax cut, tax breaks, which means the burden for the tax cut, tax breaks is going to fall on us, ordinary citizens. The bottom 70% of the population has to cover their share. They reap the rewards because they make the most money. So if I make $100 million and somebody gives me a tax cut and I save $10 million, while the person that makes $40,000 gets a tax cut, and so what? $4,000. After you then raise the prices 50% on them. You raise the price on 50% for me, I got 10 mil. That ain't gonna even, who cares? We still throwing up paper, right? But the person that makes the 45,000, the 50,000, the 60,000, they're already living on the edge. An extra 30%, 40% means they're off the edge. Credit cards are maxed. And speaking of credit card debt, it's maxed all-time record highs. I mean, this is bad news. I can't even keep going because from a business standpoint, this is all bad. It's very bad. This ain't even funny to even be talking about, quite frankly. And that's why I'm not even being funny. I'm solemn about this. This is scary. This is beyond scary. The rich are going to be oligarchs. They're going to control the government. Jesus, this is insane. 70% to 80% of people are living paycheck to paycheck now. You can't absorb 20 to 30 to 40% more in cost. And that gets us to the 85 percentile, which means the upper middle class is now bye-bye. And that leaves the top 10 to 15% in 2.5 years. And a lot of homeless people, a lot of people that are sick, ill, dying, like it's the plague. This is bad. All right. Nobody's going to be spared, by the way. It doesn't matter. Color of skin, color of eyes. It does not matter. You better be thinking about joining us at the SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Investors Forum because there still are special discount deals they're running right now if you're in the DR. And also, what do I mean by that? They're saying instead of 10,000 down, we'll let you do 5,000. Instead of 5,000 down, we'll let you do 2,000. Stuff like that. Maybe a discount on 1 or 2 units if you're there and they're pitching you. Stuff like that happens. That's what'll happen when we're there. If we'll go to see some places. I'm just going to tell you right now, we're going to go see the only thing that makes sense is in a environment. So that means Vista Cana. We're going to Seven Palms for sure. We're going to see Seven Palms Elite because they still have under $125,000 one bedroom units, and they're in Vista Cana. So we're going there. The we might be going out to some other places I won't say right now. But if you're interested in real estate and not being inside the U.S., like I said 5 years ago, that's an opportunity. But if you like Thailand, if you like Philippines, if you like Dubai, then so be it. But I would highly suggest if you can afford to get something outside the United States, I would highly advise it. Mexico, I never liked, even though property values are pretty decent there too, but I just never liked this and I need it. So that's my thing. I don't like what they got going on. If you live by the water, within like 25 miles from the water or something, you can't have deeded property if you're a foreigner. You know, you got to go through a trust and all this, that, and the other. I'm just like, forget that. I know your history. You might have one of these clowns back in like what we got going down. It's going to do mayhem. So this is crazy. I'm hoping it's talk, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be very bad for everybody that doesn't have a roof over their head, that's renting right now. You're going to have problems. If you rent right now and you live in, let's say, a townhouse, an apartment, it doesn't really matter. The HOA insurances are going to go up significantly. Significantly. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, you guys pay $100,000 insurance annually. No, it's going to be something crazy. 500,000 or it's going to be crazy because a whole bunch of people will not be insured. So therefore, in order to cover everybody else, your prices are probably going to triple. This can't be. This is like a nightmare. Am I awake? I mean, I can't even believe what I'm reading here. This is crazy. It's scary now. It was scary already, but now that he's actually going to be in office in 2 months and they're talking now of doing this, I'm like, man, we have history. Go look in the history books. All right, enough. Wow. What time is it? 8:13. We've been doing this for a few hours. I'm sorry to get a little like this, ladies and gentlemen. I started the channel to help people. And who knew your government's going to work against you by making sure that any gains that ordinary citizens make gets wiped out because you just 25% more. There's people right now that was very happy with earning 25% on their investments. And to have people just wake up and be like 25%, 10 more percent on already existing tariffs. And China has already said, ha ha, America, you can do whatever tariffs you want. But guess what? We're going to do tariffs on you and we're going to buy from somebody else, which now means just what happened before where farmers went out of business. More farmers are going to be going out of business, filing bankruptcy. They're going to get bailouts. Then that means taxpayers pay for it. Then we have inflation. Then you're going to try and blame it on somebody else 5 years from now. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is craziness. This is so sad. Sad. All I can say is you got T minus 2.5 to 3.5 years. That means go right now. Go. You're going to have to get the assets. Any businesses is going to have a very hard time scaling up as well because people aren't going to have the money. So that's going to be very interesting. This is bad. And they have control of the House and the Senate. So we can do like this 10-point plan. If I do tariffs, and I do tariffs on food, and I do tariffs on goods and services, and if I take away your health care, I take away your Social Security, I'm running around here with the SS squad trying to grab undocumented illegals, whatever you want to call them. Meanwhile, we got a bill on the other side of all of this that's running up our deficit. And now we still have to deal with funding friends, so-called friends, Israel, humanitarian aid around the world, NATO, Geneva Convention agreements. And now we're having tariffs against our friends. Our friends are going to have tariffs against us. Our enemies are going to have tariffs against us. Our products can't be sold. So now that turns into 1930s all over again, where now we can't sell, now more layoffs, now more unemployed, now more people who lose their homes. I mean, seriously? All right. See me in Punta Cana. I think you might want to get some real estate, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, there are some real estate properties that are 50 grand, 60 grand. There is something like Vistancia, but I got to go see these guys because the developers wouldn't show their face, so I don't trust them. But there's stuff that's still cheap that if you just need something, then you can still get something. ssnlifestyle.com, stopstrugglingnow.com, Punta Cana Investors Forum. I suggest you guys come over there because I think they're really going to do this. I really do, because they keep talking about it. You wouldn't be talking about it. You won the election. There's no reason to sit here and do this unless you're really trying to take down a country, because we're going down. You're already on edge. Now you're just exasperating the situation. There's no way around it. All right. Stand by. Stand by, stand tall, because, there's more to come. A lot more to come. So if you have enemies against you and you have your friends against you, 1930 all over again. Isolationism. That's not good. And there's a lot of countries that hate you anyhow because you have world currency and you just dictate to everybody how things are going to go. So even your friends may not really be friends. And your friends, they're 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years old. They've been doing business with the rest of the world in the global economy. America, 500 years, 600 years. You're like a little baby. They have friends. They have agreements too. And so they can all buy from each other. Remember, our corporations make stuff outside the United States so they don't have to pay taxes because they leave it offshore, right? just like you should do. You should act like a corporation, be the CEO of your life. You should do what a corporation does at this point. Corporations have offshore companies. You should have offshore companies because then you can do business outside the United States. You don't have to bring the money into the United States as a corporation, so therefore you don't have to pay tax. And you're doing business outside the United States, just like in the DR, when we can go to Opine, we can go to the furniture company, and they don't have the 35 to 40% tariff on China. So you can have custom made wall units, your whole wall measurement for your condo or villa or townhome or wherever you live. And it'll be something crazy with the SSN Nation plan. We could have $1,500. You can have a whole wall with your own colors. And I don't mean paint, I mean actually a wall unit, which is a wall. And then you can put shelves, lighting, TV area, however you want to design it, special coloring, whatever you want to do. 90 days, $1,500. You can't do that in America, right? Where you're going to get restaurant dining tables that you can actually put marble on or whatever stone you want to put on the table. And that too, $1,200, $1,500. You guys know how much you guys been searching for furniture? You know how much that would cost in America? 4Gs. 6 people set up with stone dining room table with designer chairs. But it comes from China and they don't have the tariff agreement that we have. So all the stuff is cheap. Cheap to cheap. So this is what we're going to be dealing with. Just letting you guys know. So all I can say is good luck, everybody. I'll still be here for another 2 years. And unfortunately, tonight I got distraught hearing some of this stuff. And I didn't even give out a story. It's Monday night. Good. I'm distraught. Can't give out a story tonight. I can't give out a story tonight. I'm distraught. I got to worry about my daughters. I mean, Jesus Christ. Um, Daughters, grandson, nephews, family members who are under 40. This is crazy. This is crazy. Everybody would be affected if this happens, especially if you start talking about no vaccines. Now all of a sudden, what, mumps and measles and chicken pox and I mean, what are we talking about here? Because that's what they're talking about too. I mean, damn, freaking 1917, 1915 or some crap. Got the plague going down at the same time as you got wars going down, and I mean, this is crazy. I'm just saying. I'm hoping the nightmare doesn't happen like the nightmare that I see coming, but unfortunately, I'm rarely wrong. Uh, this is bad. And I'm sounding the alarm. I don't even know what to say. I'm just going to keep running because I just got to repeat this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. What's next? All of a sudden, we're going to have a problem, a deal against Germany and France and Spain and England. I mean, what are we doing out here? We are not America of 1990. We're not America of 1960. We're not America of 1950 with all the after the war we had that production lines going and everything. This is not now. That was then. We cannot duplicate it now because China, Mexico, and a lot of other countries is what America used to be, where the manufacturing facilities were full running and operating at cheap labor. This is insane. All right. I pray for everybody. And I don't say that often because now I see what if now I see what NASCAR All Out was saying. Because after this came up, I'm just like, holy smokes, if they're doing this and they're doing the tax cut tax breaks, and they're talking recession, they have every right to be talking recession. It's going down. It's just a matter of if the Federal Reserve is going to be able to reduce the interest rate fast enough for the ordinary citizens, because only ordinary citizens will be able to borrow. The rich people they have assets they can always borrow against. But OCs have to do the traditional. You have to borrow or get credit cards or borrow. So how fast can they get it down to 3%, which would move things in a positive direction upward? But on the other side, you're getting slammed with higher cost. So now it's bad. So Yield-Max ETFs, ARR, ORC, these are stock symbols, AGNC, PSEC, that currently get 13% to 17 to 18% dividends. Real estate investment trusts, which were going to be a good investment because you're going to be able to grow, the real estate was going to grow and the value would go up. So the stock price would rise a little bit while you're getting a 13 to 17% dividend and return on your money, which is pretty damn good. But now things are going to outpace your 17% or 10% or 12%. You're going backwards. But here's the other part. If you don't do it, you're going to be down 25%. Or do you want to be down 7 or 8%, which is more manageable? I mean, think about it. It's all numbers, but think about it. This is very bad. If they do this, that's going to, even from an investment standpoint, that means everything would be null and void for the return on investments. I'm referring to dividends or any savings accounts or anything like that. It's null and void if prices are 25% more. There's not too many things that make 25% or more return. And what's going to happen with Yield-Max ETFs, because they use the option income, if all of a sudden the options market, they're not trading it that often because ordinary citizens aren't in, it's just the top, the Blackstones, the BlackRocks, and all those guys, and that starts coming down, the stock price comes down and the dividends come down. So now you're not even going to be able to capture your 30%, 40%, 50% return. So we need 1 year. 1.5 years is what everybody needs of something that's going to roll nice. I don't know how that's going to happen if they implement anything in the first 10 days. It'll run through the system, but then it shortens your time frame to 1.5 years. And even in that 1.5 years, are you going to be able to find assets that are going to increase 20%, 25%? That's the question. I don't see how. All right. I want to hear from everybody down in the comments section on the replay. Let me know what you think of my assessment. Let me know what you think, period. Maybe you think, Eric, you're full of it. There's no way, but give me reasons why. I want to hear how you think this is going to be positive. In fact, I challenge anybody, if what they're saying they do, I want to see the scenario where it works for the best, because there's nothing that indicates 20 to 30% more in prices across the board, people losing jobs. More people are losing jobs, and means inflation increases. That also means insurance increases. That also means a whole bunch of things are going to increase because people can't pay for it. So only those that can pay are going to pay more. And those that can't pay, that means they're not going to have the services. They're not going to have the health. They're not going to have nothing. And who's going to cover that deficit? Because in America, if you're sick, you still get taken care of at the hospital. They send you a bill. But now the hospital is going to be out of business. I mean, this is bad. Very bad. It's almost like somebody's doing this on purpose. And again, I don't like being chummy with Putin. I don't like being chummy with Kim. I don't like being chummy with Z. I don't like none of that. And Netanyahu either. And the fact that we have people, a whole party that feels chummy chummy with dictators, and they're acting just like what dictators do to oppress their people. Crazy. Next, your passports. Once again, what happens if your passport gets turned off? Just asking for friends. I'm stepping on a boat. Or maybe you're lucky enough to have another passport from another country. You might want to start looking that up too. All right. Just saying, that's my warning for tonight. 2 hours, 30 minutes. I'm going to end this tonight because I'm usually upbeat, but this right here is very, very disturbing. I have my daughters now have to deal with medical care. Can't already was in a problematic if they got pregnant and they had a problem pregnancy. Now I got to worry about them having jobs, being able to survive in an environment where the cost of living is going to outpace what their station is in life. You cannot absorb 25% increases, 30% increases in no time. Not now when we know 70% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck. Now you're going to add 30% more on top, or 20, or even 10. That changes the whole dynamic. There's a paradigm shift. So again, I challenge anybody, please give me a coherence so I'm not going to be so sad. Please put something down. Some economist who disagrees with me and says, "Hey, Eric, look, this is what's going to happen. Please put it down, because if this goes down, this is very, very bad, and there's no way out." That's the worst part. The damage will already be done, and our if the man leaves, the after effect means our allies are no longer, or almost going to be like our enemies, have to repair that. That means 80 to 85, maybe even 90% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck, or the rest are already dumped already, out of jobs, can't, and homeless, and nowhere to live, sick, dying on the streets. I mean, if you start taking away the veteran stuff, I mean, that's the last thing. If they start taking away the veteran stuff, then that's even worse. Which some veterans are on disability, which is Social Security. I mean, this is bad. I mean, Jesus Christ. Uh, this is very bad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep repeating myself like a crash dummy right now, because I just can't believe what I'm reading. I can't believe, because we already have tariffs existing. We already have history of what happens when you do this type of stuff, and you know where the products are made. So stuff coming in from Mexico is going to cost 25% more. Stuff coming in from China is going to cost, already add another 10% on top of the 25, 5% to 25% for any item made in China, which ends up making it 35, 40, 50% more. Walmart has already announced, by the way, in case you guys missed it, they already said there's going to be a problem. The price is going to go up at Walmart. So if you have your dollar places and Walmart's going to cost 20, 30% more, your Costco's, Houston, we have a problem. I thought this was only going to happen when I died. I thought this was going to be like another 40 years from now. I didn't, or 30 or 40, but Jesus Christ, I didn't think it was going to happen in my lifetime. I didn't think nobody's going to pull the grenade and be like, yeah, we don't give a damn. This is insanity. All right. Okay. Enough with my talk tonight. I am depressed by this situation. And I'm only depressed because um, I know a lot of people who's watching the channel are successful. They'll probably end up being fine. But now the pressure is added, especially if we're like a Victor Marrero. And a lot of my friends, they actually retired from their job. They have almost somewhat of a fixed income plus more money coming in from investments. But if your prices go up 40%, there's hardly any combination of investments that over time is giving you 40% return on your money. In fact, that's unheard of. So that means you're going to be in a world of hurt when the insurance guys come calling saying this year your insurance has gone up $2,000 more and on your house and another $1,000 annually on your car, your health care, well, that's in disarray. That costs more now. And now all of a sudden, something that was nice and easy turns into you got to pay another 2 G's a month or more and hope that your health is fine along the way. And the other part is there's other factors that they're messing around with the FDA. The FDA is already suspect, right? They're already dumbass because they allow products to be made in America that's banned in other countries. But now imagine if the FDA loosens its regulations and EPA loosens their regulations, which is another factor. Water may be tainted more. Food may be tainted more, like the thing that actually broke out. Listeria broke out recently. Again, all these things because somebody keeps monkeying around with rules and regulations that pretty much was in place. Now they're going for the CDC. They don't want official doctors. They want TV doctors to running see. I mean, this is insanity. Insane. I mean, this is insane. And take the books away too. I mean, this is insane. All right. I can't even talk right now about this anymore because this is exactly the worst case scenario that everybody I feared and people didn't believe it. They were all like, nah, 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 it ain't gonna happen. It's happening. Hashtag we told you so. And unfortunately, we all go down with the ship. Just like the USFL, listening to a clown. Unbelievable. All right, America. You guys got it, OCs. You got your marching orders. Now you're going to have to make more than 50% just to break even over the next year if this goes down. And it is going to go down. So I don't know what to tell you. On the right track. All I can do is we can only make more money. But where are the sources going to come from when nobody has money to spend? No consumerism. I mean, everybody's going to be in the tourist business. Wow. All right. Well, I'm going to close shop tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening to me rant. Thank you so much. But in fact, it's facts. It's not fiction. Let me know what you guys think. I really want to hear from somebody that says, hey, Eric, I think you're blowing it out of proportion. I'm not blowing anything out of proportion when guys saying 25% on Mexico and Canada are friends and additional 10% on China, which we already tariffed them. So the prices have already went up. Now they're going to go up 10 to 15% more. And stuff from Mexico and Canada now is going to go apparently up 25% to 30 to 35 or 40% more. Is anybody getting any raises of 30 to 35 or 40%? Hell no. Nobody's getting any 40% raises just to break even. That's what we're talking about here. The destruction of the upper middle class is coming with a haste. In fact, it was already going to happen, but this is just hastening the situation. And what happens if the Federal Reserve they don't reduce by 1 point or a half a point every 3 months to get it down to 3%, which would add fuel on the fire for a boom for the rich people, and then some of the OCs will be able to come along for the ride. But after the crash comes crumbling back down, then what? Everybody's going to be crumbling back down. Even though billionaires are going to be losing their shirts, because remember, they own corporations, they have stocks. So when they lose their shirts, they lose employees. They don't have people working for them. Their companies shut down. Their companies are leveraged most of the time. So now you have loan forgiveness, aka bankruptcy. And you guys were worried about $350 billion for student loan debt. That's going to be like a fucking a, a little drop in a big ass ocean after this shit happens. This is bad. All right, I'm sorry for the curse words because this is pissing me off. So I gotta get off of here, because again, let me know what anybody thinks down below. If you can figure out how to make this much better for all of us, because I don't see how this is good. Even a 10% increase in prices is not good. 15, 20 is even worse. I don't see how this is good on any front. Um, Unless somebody woke up and told me, hey, Eric, everybody's getting a 50% raise, or somebody's getting, 200 million people are getting $1 million each or something. I mean, I don't really know what to say at this price points. And we already have problems in Florida, California, um, Arizona, Texas, places that have, hurricanes, already weather related problems, fires, um, and insurance problems. We already have it. Now you're going to be throwing fuel on that fire even more. And now these poor people who retired 10, 15 years ago on a fixed rate, and now you're outpacing what even they're going to owe. So they have to go with nothing. They're not going to be covered. That's insanity. That also means your population is going to decrease. So now you got the women all screwed up, because if they're pregnant in half of the states and they have a problem pregnancy, prenatal care not taken care of, now you're messing with the population on that front. And I mean, this is all bad. I don't even know. This is like Handmaid's Tale when you think about it, but people signed up for it. Good luck. That's all I can say. Tiny house you should have. If you don't have a house, then get a tiny house. If you don't have a place, make sure you get one. You're not going to be safe in a rental at an apartment. You're not going to be safe at the rental, because insurance rates are going to go up. That means the landlord has to raise the prices, because not that many people are going to have insurance coverage, as I mentioned already. So there's dominoes are going to start falling. So you're going to have, stock up. We're doing a survival situation right now. Water, snacks, but not really snacks. But you're going to need survival food like a quickness within the next 6, 8, 9 months. You're going to have to get your duffel bag of cash, not leave it in electronics. Do not leave it in electronic. Your ATMs might not work. I forgot to tell you guys, during the summer, ATMs in Atlanta didn't work. Crazy. All over. Go to one Chase, go to another Chase that's like 3 miles away, then went to another Chase 3 miles away. ATM machines weren't working. Inside, outside, couldn't get money out. It was crazy. Duffel bags of cash are needed. Long-term food is needed. And health. And if you go outside of the country, make sure you get your antibiotics, because here you have to go see a doctor to get antibiotics. So get your antibiotics when you're outside the United States. Get them. Um, you need food that lasts, not just that you know preserved food. None of that. You need the stuff that can last a year or two. right? In special packs. Make sure you get some of that stuff. And you're going to have to get a bunch. So you're going to have to protect yourself because these guys, they're talking crazy and reckless. But better to be safe than sorry. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But if you're renting, you're going to be in dire straits, especially buy an apartment, because they're going to raise the insurance of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And your landlord, either way, I already explained it. You're done. All right. So it's scary out here. So the thing about moving in with parents, friends, family, loved ones, and you hopefully somebody in your family has a house that they own outright, and even then the insurances and the or lack of insurance coverage, okay, that happening as well. But remember, everything's rising. Real estate, taxes are going to rise accordingly, because how are you going to run the city? How are you going to run services? Without police, without fire, now what? Again, it sounds like Armageddon, but I'm just telling you right now, there's no way you can survive with the 25 to 35 to 45% increase in a lot of products that people use. And 70% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck already. So even a 10% increase is devastating. So I don't know what these guys are smoking. I guess they don't know 70 to 78% of the people already are living paycheck to paycheck, I guess. So hell, just throw up tariffs of 25% on our friends. Again, I'm not down with that. All right, we're going to end it, ladies and gentlemen, on this solemn live stream on Money Making Monday. Make sure you smash the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you like what we've been talking about. Unlike most nights, I'm usually positive, but after seeing all this stuff and after he asked that question, I always think things are weird when it's a rocket ship ride and then somebody says, wait a minute, what about a recession? I'm like, what about how? Then I find out this. Now I'm like, oh, dominoes are going to fall if you do that. That changes the whole paradigm shift of American economy. And by the way, America does not have the best economy. We have the best economy by the G7 and all that, yes. But what I mean is we have 37 trillion in deficit. If another country had that, our currency would be something like 25 to 1. All right, against the world currency. All right, we'd be like Argentina and the rest of them. To be stupid. Brazil and all these guys. So this is crazy. I can only say I love you guys very much. I really, really care about what happens to you, and you're going to have to prepare the best way you can. And I'm here for it. I'm going to try and I'm going to be thinking about some maneuverings over the next couple of days, because if you have a lack of money, then that's the whole problem. That's going to be one of the major problems if you can't get any money. So now where can you get money if businesses are closing down, if it's costing you more money? And even if you got money, it's not paying the bills. So I am saddened because I spent 5 years here trying to give you guys some of the best information that I can help you out with so you guys can win. And now it seems like somebody's trying to tear down doing real estate, doing commercial, doing all that, because now that's a risk with insurance cost, upkeep of your commercial properties, buying into a business like a Shark Tank. Now that's a risk. I mean, this is crazy. And your health is at risk, your food's at risk. I mean, everything that you think is at risk. And never mind who's under 18 years old and you have somebody in your care. And now you have children that all of a sudden some clown comes in and says, like RFK, no vaccines. I mean, what do we, seriously? And I'm supposed to hang around, my kids supposed to hang around your kids? I mean, this is a disaster waiting to happen if they implement these things. All right, enough. Thank you so much once again. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. And apparently, one way or another, it's about to get a whole lot harder for a whole bunch of people. 70% of the population to 80% of the population. It's getting harder because 10% more is coming your way. For sure, 10% more is coming. 25% more on a lot of things too. So all total, we'll just be polite and say 10% more is what it's going to cost right now. Look at all your bills, add 10% to it. Now tell me what it looks like. All right. Okay. And when America has a problem, guess who else has a problem? The rest of the world. Check your history, ladies and gentlemen. It'd be very, very wise to get some of them books out the library and go study when this happened, this happened, this happened, and you can then see there, you know, the outcome is coming. This isn't rocket science. It's numbers. That's why I always like math. Because if you do A plus B equals C, I make you pay more, you make the same amount of money, means you have to work longer hours or make more money from another source if you already are 70 to, are already living at your maximum. This ain't very hard to figure out. You add in taking your health care problems, you add in making sure your property tax is a problem, insurance is a problem across health insurance and home insurance and car insurance, everything's a problem. Okay, enough. Okay, see you on Wednesday, 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, I'll be thinking of how to help the OCs because a lot of people are going to need even more help than I thought. I thought we had like 3 years and it could actually be shrunken down to like a year and a half to 2.5 years slot before mayhem occurs at the maximum levels. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm hoping and praying that this stuff is all talk, all big man's talk, puffing your chest out. And I'm just hoping that somebody walks off the cliff and walks them back in off the cliff and says, hey, man, you want to destroy everything under your watch? Because you're going to have mayhem in the streets. We have the most weapons of any country in the hands of citizens. And you know what citizens do and human beings do when they don't have something? Go look at Haiti. When people don't have something, they're going to invade in a group, in a mob, and come to your house. He who has the most bullets wins. He who has the special weapons wins as well, with the most bullets. So this could go bad real quick because of economics that didn't have to happen. All right, I'm going to go. Make sure you financial wizards talk to me, walk me back off the cliff because I can't even go to sleep tonight. And with all that said, make sure you keep your head up, keep moving, be safe out here. But as for this night, it's a bummer, and I'm out.